Defence Ministry has said this morning that the island nation, which China of course lays a claim to, has a full grasp of activities near Taiwan and will appropriately dispatch forces in reaction to enemy threats. Those enemy threats are from China. They come in response to a visit to Taiwan taking place today, it seems, from the Speaker of the US House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, a visit that, if it takes place, will be seen as a very high-profile challenge to Beijing. How dangerous is all of this? While we fixate on Ukraine, is the world stumbling towards, well, potentially a far more dangerous conflict off the coast of China? Let's talk to Charles Parton, who's a fellow of the Council of Geostrategy. This is a new think tank. Also a fellow at RUSI and a former diplomat himself in China. Mr. Parton, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Give us a sense, first of all, of why it matters so much to China that Nancy Pelosi might go to Taiwan.
Well, China is trying to isolate Taiwan, and what it doesn't want to have is high-profile figures visiting from other countries, because it claims sovereignty over Taiwan, and it says it's up to Beijing to decide anything relating to it, including who visits. And so it wants to intimidate and keep people away, maintaining this view that unification, or reunification, as they say in China, is irresistible and inevitable, and it doesn't like independent action.
How far will it go in not just expressing itself, and it already has made sort of vague threats and about the visit, but actually doing something in response?
Well, it's difficult to see what it can do. I mean, it won't stop the visit, and American-Chinese relations are already on a fairly downhill path. I think what we'll see in response to this, if it happens, and I think it will, is some military and naval and air incursions into Taiwanese airspace and sea space. We may see they threaten dire consequences, and I think in the past they threatened to sanction Nancy Pelosi, and that means her relatives as well, and they say that her husband has business in China, and they'll make a lot of noise about it. But I don't think, when we look back on this in, let's say, 6 months' time, it's part of the process of a downward trend in relations. But I don't think it's going to be that much of a really important nick point.
Where does it leave the US administration, the Biden administration, when it's trying to deal with Beijing? Because their foreign minister, China's foreign minister, has just said they've been in communication with the US, presumably with the administration, and been clear about the gravity and sensitivity, they say, of the matter. But is it your understanding that Biden wants her to go or doesn't?
Well, I mean, there are indications that the administration is a little bit more reluctant. But of course, the administration is separate from the House, and
but they're both Democrats. I mean, it just seems odd to people, I think, looking in from the outside, that if Biden definitely doesn't want her to go, why on earth is she going? It's a sort of incoherence of it, isn't it?
Yes, but because they are equal partners in power, the Hill, the Congress, and the administration, he doesn't have the power to say you can't go. And there's quite a lot of well, first of all, I think there's considerable bipartisan agreement within Washington that the harder stance on China has to be taken. But within the Democratic Party, which is perhaps less hardline than the Republicans on this, there are those that feel quite strongly that a harder line needs to be taken. And I think they will be encouraging and welcoming Nancy Pelosi's visit, whatever the president thinks.
Final thought, we've got the Foreign Affairs Committee, according to The Guardian, I think it was yesterday, reporting the Foreign Affairs Committee, Commons is going to go, Tom Tugendhat's committee, not as high profile as Nancy Pelosi, but nonetheless, do you think it's a good thing that Britain, possibly even a British Foreign Secretary under a Liz Truss government, might, given what she said about China and Taiwan, might go themselves?
Well, I do think it's important that we do have full contacts, proper contacts with a country which operates as a country, 24 million people, a very important one, a big trading company, important in many aspects, whether that's environment, health, trade, investment, etc. So, understanding and building up those relations is perfectly a correct thing to do. I mean, were Tom Tugendhat to become our foreign minister, as it were, the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, then I think we're in a different position, because traditionally the very top senior 5 or so members of the cabinet and their top leaders have not done those visits. So that would be very much a step up, and we would then find ourselves in the firing line.
Charles Parton, Fellow of the Council of Geostrategy, thank you very much.